Recording. Hello, welcome everybody to SIG API Machinery for Kubernetes open source bi-weekly meeting. Today is October 4th, 2023. We have a nice topic on the agenda today with Matthews, who has kindly agreed to do a presentation for us. I checked we had an item on the backlog. I checked with Alex. He was all ready to solve this, offline. Because we're out of time last time when he wanted to present this, so we should be good. So our topic for today is Matthews. So with that, I will give it to you. Do you want to have the presenter of the screen?
Okay, could I share my screen?
Yes, I will stop sharing and I will allow you to share.
Okay. I think the sharing is disabled for me.
Okay. Rename, make co-host. I think I can put you in. Let's see if this. Can you try now?
Yes, now it's available.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, let me. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, let's go. Hello, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to present CEL Playground here. I am Matheus. I work at GitHub, where I develop open source projects related to Kubernetes and CEL. And when I was writing my validations with CEL, I realized that there was a need for a place to test CEL expressions. And I saw in that SIG document that this was a concern too. So we have created the CEL Playground, where the users can quickly test their expressions directly from their browsers with no installation required. And they can share their experiments, learn with the predefined examples, avoid mistakes in their expressions, which is important when we are talking about policy enforcement. And let me show you how it works. Here is the CEL Playground. Here is the CEL expression. Here are some examples. This one checks the host port field of containers. This is a recommendation from pod security standards. And here is the input data, where YAML and JSON formats are allowed. And the deployment is into this variable object. And this case, this deployment should fail. The expression should return false because the host port is set, and the recommendation is not to set this field. So if we comment out this line, then returns true. We have more examples here. This one checks the image registries where the allowed registries are set here as a parameter. And this deployment should pass, should return true because the default registry is docker.io and it's allowed here. So it's true. If we change the registry, then it's false. And if the CEL expression has a syntax error, we can see here as well the error. Okay. I think that's it. It's an open source project. It's built with WebAssembly. Thanks to Joe Betts for the suggestion. And the CEL libraries are available in the playground. We have specific examples for these libraries, like this. And that's it. It's a simple project, but I hope that it can help those who are working with validating admission policies. And we are looking for feedback to make it better, to make it more helpful for Kubernetes users and for other projects that are using CEL as well. And please share with us any suggestions for improvements, maybe some of these. And that's it. Thank you for the speaking slot here. If you will be at KubeCon, feel free to use CEL Playground in your presentations. I will be there too. And my colleague, sorry, someone asked for speaker. And my colleague, Kevin Connor, is also here to help as well. He will be at KubeCon too. And that's it. We are available for any questions and feedback.
David has a hand.
Yeah, it looked like a really cool thing to use. I liked the way that you showed how you could wire parameters through it. I had a question about some of the custom non-normal CEL stuff that we do. So like we allow wiring an authorizer, which I imagine you can get requester to work similar to how you did parameters, but is there a mechanism for simulating what an authorizer would do, or do you view that as outside scope or what?
Yeah, for now, this library for authorizing is not available here. And I don't know if we could put variables to simulate the authorizer here.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for writing this. I've already been using it a number of times because it is in many cases enough that when somebody runs into a problem or something that I am able to use this to reproduce the problem and then show some alternatives and possible solutions. I'm actually delinquent. I need to go back onto this GitHub repo and just suggest some ideas on how we could bring it even more tightly in line with Kubernetes use of CEL, but the approach is great. I love that it's just WASM so that there's no like server-side components that you have to worry about running CEL safely in or anything like that. I think it's a really nice approach. I really like this.
Thank you.
Cici has a hand.
Yes. Can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, it's my first time to try the in-room voice, so just double check. Thank you. First, I want to say thank you so much for having the CEL Playground in place. I believe that will help greatly, like in terms of like people's say shift left effort on the validations and try out before like actually switching or like migration. I do have a couple questions. First, I think it's aligned with the previous question David raised about we not only like have like the specific, for example, like the authorizer, but also we have like the request to say or namespace kind of can be leveraged within the CEL expression rules, which I didn't see showing it here, but I know it's might tricky to be showing here. And I love the demo on like the cross-file validations, say like how to use the params in the playground. But if like I assume users could potentially use the similar way to demonstrate a use of like say old object, which is the existing object saved in the storage or like the namespace, but they have to know exactly like the information like they want to use. So that might limit them from using it properly. That's the first question. The second one is because I've been working with CEL and the CEL related feature for a long time, so I know like there are some tricky things, like for example the version, because we keep updating like the CEL Go versions. So like each Kubernetes release might go with the different CEL Go versions. And I've noticed that currently the CEL Playground was using the same version as the released Kubernetes 1.28. So is there a maintenance plan to like say keep it updated together with Kubernetes? Because you also mentioned that this might be used by not only Kubernetes, but other like CEL users. So I'm not sure about how to, like, what's the plan on the version like the promotion side? And yeah, I have other questions, but yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, about the second question, for now, we are trying to keep the same version of CEL Go than the Kubernetes to be able to use the libraries. We also have imported the quantity library, and this is the reason for now.
Yeah, I feel that's great to keep it updated with the released version, and it's also been great to keep it updated with the latest master maybe version, so people can like try it out like even before the Kubernetes released. That's also like a great direction to go. Like I'm okay with either. I just raised the question just to like for people to be aware of that. And another question I have is like besides the evaluation stuff, like we actually also embed like leverage the cost framework self-provided to like give users like the CEL evaluation, and we have the specific like budget set inside Kubernetes. Do you have a plan to like further see align with those as well? That I just feel that will be great if like you also have like the cost evaluation bounded here, so people generally would have an idea. But I know it's yeah.
Sorry, I didn't understand this other question. Could you repeat, please?
So I'm not sure if you are familiar with like the cost framework self-provided. So basically, we will like evaluate the cost of the I think Joe was sharing the thank you so much for sharing the reference. So sorry.
Okay, about that.
So I can share the link. So basically we in Kubernetes when we were using CEL, we are leveraging the cost framework self-provided just to do just to achieve our resource constraint goal. So we have limitations there. So if user trying to run some super expensive expressions, we will stop them from running, so it will not say consume too much of the resources. We just don't want that to be happen. Yeah. So have you considered that?
Yeah, now I got it. I think it's a good idea to show the costs in the playground. I will note this. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah. I feel like the way you demo all the way you like included all the different examples in the playground, that's awesome. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Cici.
David.
Yeah, I had a couple like wish list items, and I understand like you're coming and sharing like, hey, I made this cool thing, you should use it. I agree, it's cool, but two things that I really wish that I had. One of them is for my CI/CD pipelines. Before I hit an actual server, is it going to work? It'd be really cool if I had the ability to like somehow add test cases where I could say like, here's my policy, here's my parameter, here's an example that should fail, here's an example that should succeed. I think that would be really cool. I understand if you just come back and say, sorry, man, that's out of scope. But I think that'd be really cool. And the other one that I don't know whether people on this call have similar issues or not, but I'm often asked, will these manifests work? Similar to a CI/CD pipeline, but I'd be willing to manually enter them. But I have 3 manifests. I actually have 4 manifests involved, right? I have the manifest for the policy itself. I have the manifest for the binding. I have the manifest for the parameters, and I have the manifest that's being checked. And I'm just wondering if you've given thought to expanding that way, or if you've looked and said, that's out of scope for what we want to do, or you guys keep changing the way the API works. Therefore, we have trouble keeping up. Yeah, I can see Joe smile, but we did.
Yeah, about the first which item. Yeah, I agree, would be cool. Like I think it's like that too, conf test for Rego policies. And we have other project here. Just a minute. This one, where we use checks very similar to validating admission policies. For example, this one. And here it's similar to validating admission policy, and we have wrote the unity tests for them like this, a separate file with the test suffix where with the test suffix where we can put all cases to test this policy. Is it something like this about testing the policies? David,
sorry. The US just had an emergency broadcast test that overrode like all personal settings on phones, so everyone's dinging. So it's not just Joe. Sorry for the interruption.
No problem. But about your first question, it
looks cool.
The idea? Go ahead.
No, I'm seeing now you brought up a product that I'm gathering does what I just asked for, which is very neat.
Sorry?
Sorry, there was an interruption here and I missed the context when you said,
okay.
David. Yeah.
Okay, about your first question to test the policies, and I was showing that we have this other project where the policies, the checks, are very similar to validation admission policies. And I think this kind of unit testing the policies could be related to your question. For example, we have this check, this policy, and we have another file to test different cases for against this policy. And for example, this deployment should pass, this one should pass too, but could that's it. And is it related to your first question?
Yeah, I think so. It looks very neat.
Okay, yeah, we can take a look to develop something like this. For now, this is just unit testing, is not available as a command for now, but we can take a look at this.
Oh, one other thing I was going to mention on a slightly different direction on this is the upstream CEL open source community is working on developing a website for providing more information about CEL in general. I believe it's going to be called cel.dev or something like that. Have you gotten a chance to talk to Tristan or anybody on the CEL community directly about this? They might be really interested in either leveraging it or doing something very similar on that website. And so I would love to get you guys connected.
Yeah, I sent an email to Tristan, but yeah, we didn't talk more. Just an email to invite to visit the playground, to check the repository, just like this.
Great. Yeah, I might send another message to him, kind of regarding that one. So if you see a message connecting you and him together, that'll be why.
Mhm. Yes, would be good. The first example here, I think we got from the main repository here. This. Yeah. Okay.
Great.
So yeah, we are available for more feedback. So I will stop to share my screen here. Okay.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions? Very good. Thank you, Matheus and team, for coming and presenting. This is fantastic. I know at least Joe, Cici, and the people working on CEL have been super excited about this, and this is very useful. And I think it's great that you're open for feedback and interested in the future direction of selling Kubernetes to keep adding features to support the development. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Good. Well, I think that was the one topic for today, so we can call it early. I will upload the recording later today, and we'll see you next time. Sounds good. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Have a good Wednesday.